Okay. Hello. Checking mic tests. Okay, so sorry for being a bit late. It's 8:03, and so welcome to the second Tarcy Talks. So 9 people right now. Honestly, more than I was expecting, but let's just keep going. Again, this is just really low effort thing. Something that you can tune into if you feel like it. You can see what teachers talk about. Again, also the reason I can motivate myself to do this is because I'm providing some extra feedback for students if they want to try something using ComSci or NetBeans. So, so yeah, I mean, it's something that's worth doing. So some changes that I've made since the last stream. Well, obviously during the time that I was streaming last time, I couldn't really monitor how things were going since everything froze. So it was only after the fact that I realized my audio was pretty loud. So you might notice that every now and then I might tune out just to check the audio, which I'm going to do right now, and check if I am loud enough. Okay, so I'm listening to myself right now, and it seems okay naman. So you can chat naman, and if ever I'll be able to see sana, especially when I run Discord, if the audio is still balanced. So I'll need to rebalance myself. Yeah, I mean, did I turn on the noise cancelling? It should be on. Hang on, let me check my filters. Yeah, the noise cancelling is on. I've also increased the threshold of the filter, or rather of the noise gate, because there was a lot of ASMR happening in the previous stream, which I really don't like. I mean, for those who are fans of ASMR stuff, okay, sige, you guys can, you guys can go ahead and do that, but I'm not a fan. So when I heard the playback of the previous stream, it was very uncomfortable for me. Okay, let's see. So yeah, so I'll be paying a bit more closer attention to the audio. So later when Joshua comes for the more general portion of the chat, um, I'll be readjusting the audio levels. So there might be a bit of give me 2 minutes to fix the audio levels, and yeah, okay, I think that's pretty much that's changed. Also remove the, well, honestly, before I had this frame around my webcam that used to be there. I thought it was nice, but then I realized it doesn't really do much. So removed it, and then let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much most of the changes. I mean, the rest are in the background. You won't notice them. Um, well, I mean, most of them. So I used some applications to separate audio. So Discord audio is now separate. I can easily increase the gain on Joshua's volume, or I can easily mute him as well. So most of that is in the background, and hopefully it'll work when the time comes. Right, so let's get into it. So I wanted to answer some questions that I didn't get around to answering in the previous stream, because they were mostly code related for the most part. So let me just look for that Google Sheet. Okay, so hang on, can I let's see, just like capture it and then anyway, let me just do a quick add into this scene, capture this window, so that's capture. Okay, and let me just that. But it's gonna be small, so I'll barely be able to read it. And never mind. Okay, so anyway, question I got last time was, let's see. Well, this one is probably a bit of a troll. Pero given a list of n integers, find the maximum sum of a consecutive segment in that list. For example, in the list 5, -6, 7, -2, 3, -5, 4, and so on and so forth. Solve it in ON and O1 memory. So that's a college level question, and honestly, answering and just explaining that question will take an entire class. So considering that I'm aiming this at PSI students, let's not go into that. Okay, so how do you improve HTML, CSS, JavaScript code legibility? So it seems I have some grade 9 students who are watching the stream, or at least submitted the question for the stream. And well, when it comes to legibility, it really boils down into just making sure that you're just making sure that you format your code properly. So say for example, okay, let me add to the scene my let me just add really quick this scene, or under this window to the scene. And let me just do a workspace capture. Okay, so assuming that you're working on, well, any code that you're working with. So this is an Atom text editor. You might be using Sublime, you might be using Notepad++. So I sometimes use Notepad++ also. And so really, as much as possible, you want to make it readable. So whether it's HTML, so you go start with HTML, and then the readability comes from a bunch of different things, making sure that you don't overstuff a single line. So normally some text editors will come with this line. And at first when I saw that, I thought there was something wrong with my monitor. But actually it's there so that it's kind of a sign that you probably shouldn't write past that line. Because if you do, that line is already probably very long and it shouldn't be there. Try to make sure that, you know how that there's like that mental inhale when you go through each line. So if you have a super long line, it becomes a lot less readable. So you want to be able to read that single line of whatever code that is in a very smooth manner. So for example, if I'm reading this, so this is actually already over the limit, but I don't, and there are a bunch of ways to split it. So for example, I can split it since in Java and even HTML and all of the other coding languages, white space is generally ignored unless you're coding in Python. So I can press enter here and that still works. So I'm still able to separate it into two components. So I have my if statement and then what it is being assigned as. And it doesn't pass that particular line. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, let's see. Let me transfer back to camera. So what other questions were there? Let's see. Hang on, let's see. So other questions that I got. How do you improve? Oh no, sorry, that was the one. Absolute or relative HTML positioning. Honestly, if as much as possible, you go relative. But inside that relative, if you can manage absolute, then go for it. We have relative positioning. So I'm drawing back on my CS3 knowledge back when I was still teaching CS3. Not a big fan of HTML and CSS. I prefer actual coding in Java. So, sorry, I'm getting a message from Joshua telling me what to do. So, aren't you going to show your screen? Did I show my screen earlier? Yeah, okay. So, anyway, so absolute or relative positioning. So in general, relative because you don't know what size the screen of what the size of the user screen is. But if inside of that, you're able to determine, okay, so I have this much space and therefore I can position things absolutely, then definitely go for it. Let's see, for the projects, what programs or websites do you recommend for coding together in real time? Okay. Well, if you can learn Git and GitHub, I would recommend that you do because it's quite useful when it comes to working together as a team. Unfortunately, it does have a pretty steep learning curve. So you'll have to probably work yourself through like at least 20 minutes of video tutorials before you can even try using it. And it's useful because it easily allows for tracking who does what and assigning of different tasks, who made what changes. So it makes things a lot easier from a project perspective. But yeah, the learning curve is pretty steep. I would recommend that you use REPL. So is that how they pronounce it? REPL? REPL.it. So it allows for team mode for some, and you should be able to, multiple people can edit like a Google Doc, but with the additional function of running the application. So REPL.it is pretty, it's pretty good. I only found out about it mid last year. Okay, so how can GIF format images be imported onto a JPanel with the animation playing? So that really is up to the GIF isn't basically an image, so that means that you can't really control how it's displayed. Parang if you want to display an image, probably convert that into a JPEG so that you can avoid the animation. Okay, so let's see. The rest are going to be more regarding NetBeans. So let me transfer to my workspace scene. Hang on. So go to OBS and okay. So hang on. There we go. So I've decided no. There weren't many new questions that came in for this week. In fact, were there any questions? I'm refreshing my Excel and doesn't seem to be much. So I guess I decided I'll be using this the coding portion of this stream to go over some quick tips that you can use, especially for those who are taking CS4. So let's see. At least there was one specific question asking, so how do you move multiple lines to the left or to the right at the same time? So, well, if you're going to moving multiple lines to the right is pretty easy. You just highlight those lines and then you press tab. And to reverse that, all you need to do is press hold shift and then tab. So that will basically reverse the effects. It's basically a reverse tab. Some other unique things that you can do in NetBeans. So for example, if you want to shift some lines up or down, so you can simply highlight the lines that you want and then hold Alt Shift. Oh, sorry, I held caps lock. Alt Shift and then go up, or rather down, up. You can actually move it right or left, so that can replace the tab if you want. So Alt Shift and then direction arrows will allow you to move your code without having to do the cut and paste and all of these other things. I honestly still do that though. Sometimes the process of learning the shortcut can be pretty hard, so you still just default to the different things that the different long methods that you can do. Okay, so some other things that I want to some easy things. So sometimes I'll need to share my window for this so that you can see. Hang on. So let me just go to my let me just make sure that the screen is prepared so that you don't see anything that's not supposed to. Okay, so let me share my entire screen, not just NetBeans. Okay, let's switch. Okay, so when I send you files for my students right now, so let me just open this in Notepad. So let me just, okay. So I normally remove a lot of the context. So right now, in general, when I send files, I already remove a bunch of the packages that are required and so on and so forth. That's because different IDEs process the files differently. And so some people have trouble arranging them so that when it comes to bring those files in for editing in NetBeans or whatever their IDE is, it takes some time. So well, when it comes to NetBeans, quick and easy solution to do that and arrange the packaging is, so grab your folder from your Windows Explorer and then drag it into the source packages and just drop it in there. It's already in there. Now, just because I dragged it in there, it basically just copies it. So there's still problems with the package label. So if I open this, there's an error because it's in the incorrect package. So what I can do is I can just highlight all these files. I can press Control M. And that's basically the shortcut for move classes. If I don't want to press Control M, I can right click and then press refractor and then move. Opens the same thing. And I can basically rewrite all the package lines into the corresponding package. So no need to open each of these files and then write down the corresponding package. I can just press refractor and it changes all of those different package lines. So yeah, that's a really quick fix for easily moving files across and using them. So no need to, because some people were trying to double click on the Java file and hope it opens up in NetBeans, which can cause some problems. Some people were let me transition. So some people were trying to just do the copy paste so that it would go in. Again, it's an easier method of doing this. And in fact, I only discovered this fairly recently because since I have to check so many assignments submitted to me, it becomes a lot. I need to find the ways to make things a lot faster. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, I just say headline. And I forgot to teach you that. Let's see. So what else can I teach you guys? Let's see. Some logic tools that you can use. So let me just open a new Java file. So new. Actually, I have a tester down here. Hang on. Okay, so let me just open the tester. Okay. So here, let's say, for example, when it comes to debugging your Java files, always try to do it in such a way that you're able to check until where your application works. So say, for example, okay, you run your application, you figure out that it doesn't work. Now the question is, when did it stop working? Now, if you have an error in which, let's say, how can I produce an error really easily that is not as obvious? Let's try string A. Let's produce an error. I don't think so. Yeah, but it's not a proper error. Okay. So, I mean, if you have a debugger, basically it will generally tell you where the error comes from. So it will normally produce a long list of red lines. You don't have to read through all of them because it can get pretty intimidating. Seeing that, okay, so I have this. The compiler is telling me that I have so many errors in this project. How do I go about debugging it? So you have to keep in mind that your application is a combination of code that you wrote and the library of Java. And there's probably something that you wrote that caused an error further down the line. So in such cases, all you need to do when that thing comes up, what can I do to simulate that? Let's say, not this one, beside GUI. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. So let me comment this out, and that should give me an error. So let's see and wait for my slow computer to work up to it. Okay, there. manage to get an error. So there's this big chunk of red lines, which can be pretty intimidating, and we don't know how to read, especially if you're just getting into programming. So again, you can pretty much assume that the error is your fault. I mean, no offense to to anyone who's coding, but I mean, you're the one who's introducing new code into this. So since it reports what line the error is coming from, you kind of just have to look, okay, so which one of these things is something that you wrote? So I know that I wrote Pisai GUI. I wrote Pisai Simulator. So if I check Pisai Simulator, I mean, all it does really is call this, and this is another place where the error is coming from according to this line. So I can probably reasonably assume that this is the source of the error. Now that I've identified the source of the error, I need to figure out what the error means. So it's a null pointer exception, which basically means that something here is null. So what I can do, well, basically one of these things is null. And since I commented out the north panel, it gets left as a simple definition and was never defined. So I can simply uncomment that. And so that should solve the error. So when it comes to these kinds of errors, just look for that specific thing in your code that caused the error. And then after that, try to figure out what does the thing mean, because you do have to understand to some extent what the error means. And then try to see, okay, so since it comes from this line, what are the components? I have this, I have north panel, I have border layout.north. Which of these things can be the problem? Which can make it a lot simpler to debug rather than reading through your entire code and trying to figure out which is the problem. Okay. Another thing that I want to discuss in terms of debugging is, well, the using of the print statement for debugging. So say, for example, let's generate really quick a bunch of, what do I have here in my tester class? I have a teacher, and it's already adding the teacher. So let's just create a bunch of teachers. So really quick, so teacher, I just need to create new teachers since it's already being added to the static. Is it being added to the static? So we have a static array list of teachers, which can basically ask the entire list of teachers. So teacher, hang on, what is needed for the teacher class? I need a name, subject, and salary. Okay. So let's go Tarcy, and then subject is CS, and then salary. Let's just be wishful and say I had 100K. Okay, so hang on. So it says that there's an error because, hang on, what does it say? So it's it's saying that there's a closing parenthesis expected, but I have one. So there's probably something missing inside of it, which is the comma. So there. And let's just repeat that for cirq. And let's give him 200 and so on and so forth. And so yeah, let's add one more teacher so that it's just not teacher headline. Also teaches CS and 100,000. Okay. And okay, so what I'm going to do here is when it comes to debugging, especially when you have things like loops, so let's loop over the entire thing. So for every teacher, T inside the teacher dot, is there no getter for the teacher list? Doesn't seem so. Let's just make this public so that it's easier. Okay, so let's teacher array list. Okay, so assuming that we have this, and let's say that we want to see who has let's see, who has a longer name, something like that. So before I even begin, I can already put some markers which will help me, and I can do something like system.out.println, and then I can just print t.getName. And this marker will basically tell me, okay, is it properly looping through the entire list? So if I run this, okay, let me just select the main class. If I run this, then it says, okay, Sir Tarcy, Sir Q, Ma'am Edlen. So I know that it's properly looping through everything inside the list. So if I want to check who is the teacher with the longest name, so I can, what I'll do, I'll need to have a kind of container where I will put that teacher with the shortest name, longest. So teacher longest name. So I'll set it to null for. And then what I can do is, you know what? Let's start with the first teacher. So teacher dot get name. That teacher list, and then in that teacher list we're going to dot get the one in the first index and dot get name dot get length. So basically I'm getting, if I were to break this up into different lines, and you can do that if you're having trouble. So for example, I can say that this is the, actually that we should do that. So this is the teacher with the longest name, and then I can say int length is equal to longest name dot get name dot get length. So it's a lot more understandable. Sorry, dot length. Okay, so with that, I can have an if statement. So if I have, so I'm looping over the list of teachers, and I get the name of the teacher, and I get the length. Sorry, I get the length using the string method length, and if it is greater than the current length, then I'll replace the teacher. So longest name is now is equal to teacher, rather t, and we'll say length is equal to whatever we said to get the length. So and that will loop through the entire thing. And okay, so I'm not really teaching you guys, my goal right now is not to teach you guys how to do a search, more of along the lines of how do you debug it. So say for example, it's not giving you the right answer. So that's where you insert. So you try to ask yourself, why is it giving me the incorrect answer? You normally test it with something that you already know that it's wrong, and or rather you know the correct answer, but it's giving you the wrong answer. So you test it. You put here system.out.println and check the condition. You put a system.out.println inside here and check, okay, is it breaking? Is it getting the right value? Is it entering the if statement? If I for that particular case, so system.out.println t.getName. So if I see the name of that particular teacher, then I know that that teacher's name was greater than the given length. So whenever you're debugging, you can actually pepper your work with system.out.printlines, so that you can, if you see that particular statement, even if it's a simple, okay, inside if. So if I see this statement, then I know that it was able to enter inside the if statement. If I put this one over here, so inside loop, so I should be able to count at least 3 instances of this print line and know that it looped 3 times. So therefore, you can really abuse the use of the system.out.println to better understand where the error is coming from, at least in the logical aspect. When it comes to graphical user interface errors, that can be a bit more complicated to debug. Okay, it's 8:35. I think it's about time to call Joshua. Is Joshua still listening? I see on his computer. Hang on, let me message him really quick. Let me just switch back to full face cam. Hang on, so let me just message him. So he's not reading my message. I have to invite someone else. So he told me that I said 8:40. Well, I mean, they're about range. So like, isn't it? You have to be ready 5 minutes before then. Okay, sige. So let's see. Are there any other things that I can answer dun sa no? In the given Google Sheets? Okay, so let's see. Okay. Most are pretty much regarding. Okay, so is it more important for a code to be short and Pythonic? That's new. Or filled with comments and easy to understand? It's kind of a balance of both, honestly. You code on its own should be readable. If you're not writing code in a readable way, that's kind of a. But I mean, there are times talaga that there are blocks of code that are really hard to kind of process in a more readable way, and that's where comments come in. But for the most part, your code should be self-explanatory. You should be able to kind of arrange it into different parts. So if you saw my graphical user interface file earlier, I kind of had an extra line space so that there was a kind of, they understood that, okay, so this is a different part and so on and so forth. Let's see. So the rest are questions that I think I should answer with Sir Q. Okay, will you talk about other programming languages like C++ in the future? I mean, I suppose I could. But really, I'm most comfortable at the moment with Java. And programming language is a skill that is transferable to other languages. It does take time to relearn the different, so think of it this way. It's a language, right? So if you're good at the different skills that involve language, metaphor, symbolisms, and all of these things, it should translate no matter what language you're using. So whether you're using English, Filipino, or whatever. It's just a matter of having to learn which words correspond to which, what are the different connotations, and all of these things. So when it comes to different languages in computer languages, it's pretty much the same deal. You just need to make sure that your vocabulary of the new language is good and you're able to properly utilize it. Okay, so he says he's ready. Let me just open Discord and call him. Hang on. I'm not hearing anything.
Oh wait, should I be talking?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I see your bar moving up, but hang on. Can you
Really? So,
read the read chat so that I can see adjust the audio levels.
I'm reading chat. Hi, chat.
Hang on. Advanced audio properties. Keep going, keep talking.
Hello, hello, hello. Mic test, mic test. One, two, three. Good evening, everyone. I don't think you can hear me.
No,
Hello?
no,
Oh,
they can
no.
hear you. They can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay,
I'm mute pala
so
yung YouTube ko. Okay, so I'm reading chat right now. Hi, good evening, everyone. So, welcome back. It's nice to read from you guys again.
okay. See. Can you talk again?
Hello? Mic test, mic test. One, two, three. Mic test, mic test. One, two, three.
Okay, I think you might even be louder than me. Like, it's hard to tell.
Really?
Anyway,
Oh,
that's good. It's okay if you're louder.
wait. So I don't have any screen time?
Hang on, hang on. I'm fixing it. Give me a few seconds. Let's see. Person.
I
Wait,
fixed my room.
turn on your camera.
Isn't it on?
No, it's not on.
What? Oh, yeah, it's not on. Sorry, my bad.
Just want to show off your new one. Hang on, let me
No,
just
it's not
adjust.
new. It's old. It's Luke's. So our youngest brother is actually a streamer. He does art streams and gaming streams. So maybe you could check him out. He's the first streamer among us, four brothers.
Okay, do it. Your head is still big though, honestly.
Oh no,
I mean,
I, I can't do
okay,
it. Oh,
there we
wait.
go. Here. So he has a new microphone, which he got. Is that the new one? Did you order a new one, or was
It's
that
not
Luke's?
new. It's Luke's. Again, he's a streamer, not me. You guys are the streamers.
Oh
But
wait, my frame is
actually
back.
didn't work during. Oh no, what's
No,
wrong?
no, no. Just remind me. Just
Yes,
oh,
we're
there we go.
coding kami.
Okay.
We kind of need to. Usapan yata namin. Usapan ba natin na? No, it's Valentine's. That's why we wore red. Was that why we wore red?
Hmm? We didn't
Why?
even
Why did
agree
we?
on. Did you tell me to wear red? I don't recall.
Well, that's a brotherly connection, I guess.
Labo mo. Okay. Let's see. Um. Hang on.
So, good evening, everyone. I hope you understood something from what he was mentioning. I did catch a bit of the stream earlier where, again, Sir Tarcy said, it's your fault. You're wrong. It's your mistake. Such
I
a
mean,
harsh streamer. I
we
mean, I
need to
knew
take
there are streamers that
responsibility for the things that we do. In your.
that's true. I mean, it's good to understand where your mistakes are before you can move on forward and understand how to be better. Know what to need, what needs to be improved on. So to know, you need to know that you were wrong. Just don't say it as harsh as that. Grabe.
Okay, so let's see. I can't read chat because again Discord has pushed it over the limit. I'll try to.
Charles said, may tao daw sa likod mo. No, don't
Hmm?
worry. Sir Tarcy's place is pretty holy. So regardless of whoever's behind him, it should be good.
Okay. Anyway, so are we serious about making this a Valentine stream? Let's see. I think I still have some questions that we can answer that are not Valentine related. Um,
Yeah,
eh,
go ahead.
hang on. I need to minimize you for a bit. I say your screen is in the way.
Yeah, I don't know. If I make it further,
Okay.
no, it just makes it worse.
Okay. So let's see some other questions from. Let's see. Um, will we create a Discord server for Tarcy Talks? I don't think so.
But
Do you
why
want to?
not?
I mean,
Uh,
the, the intention behind this was really simple. Honestly, I only started preparing this 10 minutes before, and then you just need to come on, honestly. So it's supposed to be
It's not a
simple for
Pisay thing.
everyone. Huh?
I mean, is it something inherent for Pisay students that, prepare like, alam ko, kaya ko 10 minutes before. Therefore, I can wait until 10 minutes.
It's an optimization thing, I think. If we know that a certain thing requires this amount of effort, and I mean, it's budgeting. We have a limited amount of time. We have a limited amount of energy, so it makes sense. Um,
Where do you put all those other energy for our, like we were supposed to practice, right? Before the stream.
oh yeah, we were, but I had something, so I was busy.
Uh,
Okay, sir, you guys should play D&D online on stream. I don't think we can do that.
no, it's not that we can't do that. It's just you don't want to see us do that.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely the bigger reason why it's not.
There's a huge PG that you need, parental guidance. And MTRCB needs to be like viewing each of our episodes to make sure it's kid friendly. It's 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 terrible. I'm such a bad chaotic player.
Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest is from last week that is asking about Valentine's.
Oh, coding. One thing about coding. Now I remember.
You
The
have a
only
question
thing,
about coding.
yes.
Hmm?
No, not question, but the statement about coding. But more of, now I know why I'm wearing red.
Okay.
Color
Why?
coding. That's the only coding I know what to do. Com side, no. Right. I really try my best understanding it. I hope our students understood though. Like they understood it. Grabe, galing mo. If you don't worry. I feel you.
Alright, and let me read the question. But before I read the question on Valentine's, let me just make a quick edit stream. If I can. Hang on. Are you watching the stream?
Yes, I'm watching the stream. Right. What's up?
You
You're
can close
in,
it. I mean, okay, there we go. Ready.
I just want to make sure that you know I get equal amount of screen time.
Yeah, you're getting screen time. Okay, so let's go to the question. So, if this window loads. Okay. Since Feb 14, well, this was given last week, is fast approaching, has passed. Do you have a memorable experience when you were a student?
Yes, Sir Tarcy does have.
Why are you saying we're supposed to talk about our own experiences? Why?
Sir Tarcy. Because this is a question that I'm clueless about. Maybe you'd be able to tell the whole people online and worldwide what the story
About
was of your
what?
love life in Pisay.
I had.
A flame.
Okay, now, uh, in terms, so let the official word be that you're not reacting to the background, no? I thought you'd notice. I mean.
See ya. So
Anyway, so um, in terms of, I mean, the comments
changing
si,
topic. Oh my god. Such a
nag-comment si
bad
Charles sa chat.
tactic,
Wait, I'm trying to remember what I told, what I
This
told
is what he
Photon back
does.
when,
It's about his own flame. Oh,
Okay,
you're so clueless.
so just to clarify to everyone in chat, na, um, and reminding Photon that I technically never actually had a girlfriend. So technically
What?
speaking, so
Label.
technically, because my technical definition of actually having a girlfriend is that you are able to acknowledge publicly your relationship. So that means that uh, parents know, everyone knows, you introduce yourself as the boyfriend or girlfriend. So that's my definition of official. So what we had back then was, uso pa ba yun? Is there still such a thing as MU? I don't hear it
Mobile
anymore.
online. Well, mutual understanding, right?
Yeah.
Uh, MU?
I don't
Come
hear it anymore.
on. That's what's MU nowadays? Uh Berks? I don't know what is MU. Do they have MU? Because right
I
now
don't
on
hear the term
Twitter
anymore. Eh.
they use mutuals a lot, so I
Yeah,
don't think that's what I mean.
yeah. So
Oh,
basically,
mutually exclusive. Oh, that's amazing.
that's
Hi,
ME,
Jacob. Hi.
mutual understanding. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, my relationship in high school went to that point. Na okay, I liked her, she liked me. We mutually understood that we like each other, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, what else am I supposed to say about that? Ikaw yung
Yeah,
may
yeah.
experience
Well,
dito eh. Ikaw yung actually
let's
my
not fraud
girlfriend eh.
anymore.
Hmm?
Yeah. By the way, speaking of girlfriend, Ina's there. Hi.
You're
She's
getting
all
choppy,
about me.
Josh.
Is it because I'm moving?
I don't know. It's your setup.
Hmm. Yeah. Anyways, um, speaking about girlfriend, she's there in chat. All about Minka. Uh, check out her profile. She does dance covers if you want. But what about me? What was the question? Anything
Well, I mean, I don't
memorable?
know. I suppose the question is more about uh, personal experiences for high school romance, and I suppose how would it be handled better. I mean, I'm kind of drawing out more because we're not just going to talk about our past relationships here. Well, I mean, hopefully the idea is we provide advice so that they don't repeat our mistakes, or anything good that we actually did is
Ooh,
still
there's some
continued.
past mistakes.
Uh,
See, that's
I,
why Sir
I,
Tarsi is so harsh when it comes to other people's mistakes because he too was once a Pisay student who had many mistakes. But that's for a story for a different time. Maybe on All Souls Day. Anyways, um, I don't have experience of Valentine's during high school because I came from an all boys school.
well, yeah, okay,
The
definitely. Pero I mean, you can probably college. So what happened in college? Parang what's your experience when it comes to dating? When it comes to uh, sustaining a relationship? I suppose people can still watch, Sir Q Bakes or some stuff about that. Pero if you were to reduce that into 10 minutes uh, or shorter, what would you say? Anong,
tip for those who would like to go on a date, more likely those who would like to just know the other person. It's just talk. Try to do some things that both of you are interested in exploring. Doesn't have to be something that she is the only one doing or something that you do, but something that you can try exploring. Like um, I was just lucky that with Mina, we both love Star Wars, as in so much that we used to marathon Star Wars movies, a lot of Lord of the Rings, a lot of sci-fi series actually, and that's the thing that we were able to bond over. We both were big, huge geeks, so these are the things that we used to enjoy. Things that I see in Pisay most of the time, usually, especially dormers. What I see is they would usually watch. I remember a certain couple, 2021, like they
you
were
don't need
able
to
to finish
drop
a
the.
whole K drama. Like every time I pass by the Astab, I always see them watching Descendants of the Sun. Yeah, it was Descendants during that time. Uh, and like they were able to finish the whole season every time I just pass by until the point na natapos na. I can't remember who it was though. Was it 2021 or 2020? Anyways, and it was cute. I think that was their form of rest. Again, it doesn't have to be something that you get to know about the other person, but something that you get to enjoy your time together. And you find out later on more about each other through the things that you do. Next question.
Well, I mean, honestly, at least in the Google Sheet or from the Google form, there's not much more questions.
Really?
Let's see. Ako naman, let's see. What can I say about high school relationships? Other than, well, I'm not gonna say don't. I'm not gonna say don't, pero I will say, uh, ano ba? I suppose, ano, it's kind of like, I will say it along the lines of don't. It sounds kind of bad, pero don't invest too much. Parang,
Oh,
no, no, no,
but
no.
yeah, I
Okay, okay,
understand.
okay.
Go.
So here's the thing about
Clarifying.
the context of high school relationships. So, um, you guys are growing. So I'm assuming most of you guys in the chat are high school or at least early college, at most early college, and I'm sure you still have a lot to grow. For those of you who are grade 9, grade 10, I'm sure you cringe at your grade 7 selves. If you can still remember how you were like back in grade 7. And right now, probably you're thinking you know a lot more. But trust me, there's still a lot more that you can learn. And by the time that you reach college, you'll be cringing at your grade 9, grade 10 self. And it goes on even further. I cringe at my college self even now. And I cringe at my first year teaching self. So it continues. There's growth all around. And so the idea of relationships at the high school, when you're at that age of high school, it's more getting to know yourself, I would say, rather than getting to know the other person. Because okay, you're at that stage in which you're starting to get interested in other people. So uh, and definitely it's something that we need to learn more about because it's a part of ourselves, but we learn it because it's a part of ourselves, not purely because of that other person. So I would actually, and this sounds kind of weird, especially since I'm the more conservative one, I would actually encourage dating a lot, uh, because
Oh, when you say dating a lot, like at the same time, dating
well, okay,
several.
I mean, honestly, I would not be against parang you have a friend and then you go out on a date, a friend date. Parang ano, okay, let's watch a movie together. And then another person, oh, let's play a sport together. Okay. But still, definitely, still casual. And the goal here is so
Sounds like a
that
dating sim.
the goal here is more than more than focusing on a single person that you like. It's more on figuring out and discovering what are the things in other people that you do like. What are personalities that you agree with? What are things that you look for in other persons? And it really helps a lot further down the line because, okay, so let's add some personal anecdote to this. So back when I was in high school, I got interested in this girl. She was my best friend in second year.
Oh,
Then
slowly, slowly, slowly. These are the meaty parts of
you can
the
play
chat.
back the VOD later. So she was my best friend in second year. Third year, we were still classmates. Um, there was a bunch of things that happened. I don't want to go into it because it was super complicated. But we ended up as prom dates, and then after that, after after prom, umamin ako, umamin din siya. So that's when the MU started. It continued all the way until
Oh, should I
early
look for
first year college.
the music of Moira Del Toro? The,
Just
Precisely such it. We need a
and,
dramatization of this also.
no. Okay. Anyway, so back in high school, I was a pretty introverted person. I mean, still am. Um, but considering I had a very small friend group, and she was my girl best friend. Well, actually, even I don't even know why I say girl best friend. She's my best friend. She was my best friend. Considering that, uh, yeah, she was a pretty big part of my social life. It was natural that I liked her. But yeah, like what I was saying, I end up focusing a little too much on her that I started to neglect all of my other friendships. It kind of became a problem when it ended because so I was in first year college and I realized that most of my friends were friends that I made through her. So that was kind of bad. So yeah, definitely you can definitely explore relationships, but insofar as you're helping it, it helps you understand yourself. Then once you've sort of uh, got a hold on who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you're looking for in other people, that's when you can start to date a little more exclusively.
Baka may
Okay.
magpapa-grab diyan ng tissues to Sir Tarcy's place. Uh, Such a sad story, but it's something that we learn from. He grew from as well. Something okay. My comment, not particularly on your part, but something to add to what you said about investing. One of the biggest problems that I've noticed about people saying is that uh, you complete me or
Yeah, I hate
you're
that.
my other half. I know. But the thing is, people tend to forget that in order to love someone else, you actually can only give the love that overflows from you. So you have to really be full of love of yourself. And then whatever overflows, that's what you share to someone you choose to share it with. It's hard to say that you both you both of you are two halves of each other because it doesn't work that way. You can only get to love someone else if you know how to love your own self. In that scenario, it needs you need to understand love at the basic principle of yourself. So if you and this is something that I really, really adore and really find cute in Pisay, that there are some couples in Pisay that are very, very much very productive. Like I'm not saying that this is the only kind of love that you should have, na, but there are some power couples that you might have noticed in Pisay that are really, really good. Like they both excel in different aspects in the school life. And yet, nagugulat ka lang pala na, oh, sila pala? I didn't know, like, you barely get to see them together. But when they're together, they really respect each other's time. They respect each other. They sweet sila sa isa't isa. But seeing them when they're apart, they don't look for each other. They keep on exploring on themselves. Who was this? I can't
Wag
remember.
naman,
There was this
don't name
student
drop.
in 2021. Eh. Uh, there was this power couple. Eh. Talaga na sobrang
Leave it alone.
wow. I do. So yeah, um, uh, on my end, but what Sir Darcy said is true. You don't invest everything. You have to make sure that there's something left for you to grow, and if there's something more that you can add, give it to the person that you would like to choose, who you would want to grow with. Now, nagulat ako dun sa sabi ni Sir Darcy.
Hmm?
Go ahead and fling. No, not necessarily fling, but more on explore your choices out there. Uh, I never got to have that option. I too was extroverted. So, I'm not sure if Mina would be able to confirm this. I think Shane ang ligaw sa akin. Pero, uh, let's put a question mark on that muna. But it wasn't, me and Mina, we didn't really go out as like, ligaw ko siya, ligaw niya ako. No, we were really best friends in law school. Uh, of course, during the first day, I was really stunned. As in, I really thought, because she was one of our classmates that didn't attend our first few classes. Sorry, our orientation. So, me and my best friend guy from high school said, mukhang hindi na siya papasok. But, uh, when I saw her, like sobrang starstruck ako. But then she sat beside my other friend na medyo uh, play play guy, playboy. How would you say it? Uh, Basta malakas sa girls. Sabi ko, oh no, wala na. But then I got her as my study group mate. It was really fun. I got to know her first as a person before as a girlfriend, and that was one of the best things that I would have experienced, and something that I hope you guys look out for when you're looking for a relationship. Try to find someone that you know that you don't have to put your guard up all the time. You can be your natural self, because that's one of the biggest problems when people go on a date. They usually um, put their best foot forward when that's not necessarily true. It's like you're just trying to fake it until you make it. You have to be as honest as you can. And if that person accepts who you are in an honest sense, then maybe you can both explore how you grow together. So yeah. Oh, by the way, me and Nina, we're going on to 10 years. 10 years. Then this coming December. So yay! Thanks, Nina. And for Sir Tarsi, maybe you could explain. Love doesn't have to be something. Has to be boy and girl. Now I'm not going to talk about LGBTQ.
Wait.
But
Are, are you gonna make me say something that ano?
not controversial. But Sir Tarsi celebrate. He'd say he chose a different kind of love. So maybe you could explain how is that? Is it different or is it also the same when it comes to? Now we're not here to convert anyone to Sir Tarsi's religion, but to explain that love exists not necessarily in relationship, in a traditional relationship of boy girl, but it can also exist in other ways.
Okay. You, you said a lot of things that can be definitely interpreted very broadly and possibly in ways that I might necessarily agree with. So, okay, let me clarify things. Um, First off, my religion is the religion of most people here, so I'm still Catholic, no matter what Cirque might say.
Super Catholic.
Okay, so but yeah, so he did mention that I'm celibate. Um, uh, so and as he,
Show
I
the bling
suppose,
bling, bling bling, show the bling bling bling.
like, I mean, hey, fine there, no ring, whatever. Anyway, so I suppose we can use that. What's Sir Q said? No, super Catholic. So in a sense, so you, if you're going to ask me on opinions on the more controversial issues nowadays with regarding to romance, it's probably going to be the same as what you hear from other sources. It's something that I prefer to discuss with people one on one, because not in the stream format, because it's a very personal conversation, and I need to be the answer that I give needs to be properly adjusted depending on the temperament of the person who is. Joshua, you froze. Can you talk?
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Okay.
Am I still
So
here?
your screen froze. Hang on, let me just reset your camera.
What Sir Darcy is trying to say is abangan sa susunod na episode.
Uh, yeah, your camera froze. But anyway, we can still hear you. Okay, so
No.
ayan, okay, you're back. So yeah, if you want to talk about those more controversial issues, yeah, we can. But yeah, heads up, my stance is going to be the same as what you'd hear from other people. I'll probably be a bit better about explaining things and going about things, I hope. But yeah, it's not something that can be. I don't like having that discussion.
No, you're talking about the other topic.
Yeah.
That's not the
Okay.
topic I want.
Right. So let's no. So that one, let's set aside, and then let's go back. Okay. So, well, I mean, I know. People can say, you you can say that people, the unique capacity of people, what makes them more than animals, aside from their capacity to think, is the ability to love in general. Um, because and we might say that okay, and really the love that a person can give is different. It's it goes beyond common sense, and we're talking not about love as an emotion. We're talking about love as an action, an act of the will. Because yeah, a lot of people say that I fall out of love or I fell in love as if they had no control. But okay, there's definitely attraction. There's definitely those initial feelings that allow you to feel these things. But if we and I actually like languages a lot. So when I thought about it, love is always almost always used as a verb. It's something that you do. So when it comes to love, it's something that people do, and they do it very consciously, whether they admit it or not. Uh, so when it comes to okay, if that's the case, if people are capable of loving so much, um, how do these people who are having trouble finding special others uh, apply it? And I mean, to love is fulfilling, definitely, but it does not always have to be directed to a particular partner. And so there's people find fulfillment in expressing their love as a friendship to people who are around them. They want to see their friends succeed. They want to be emotional supports for their friends. And that act of love, they're able to perform acts of sacrifice that, even if it's to their detriment, whether it's to their time, their effort, their money, and all of these other things, then it means a lot, both to the person giving and to the person receiving. So, well, I mean, okay, in my case, it actually helped that I had a sort of taste of what a relationship could offer as in a relationship with another person. So, yeah, I had that. I only had that one singular relationship in high school. So it was from 2007 to 2008, and after that, nothing. And then in 2011, I think it was 2011. So I decided to be celibate. Through I had a personal I was and I manifested that love, that personal relationship through faith, through religion, and the things that I do every day contribute to it. It makes me more fulfilled. It makes everything that I do, whether it's work, whether it's interacting with students, whether it's putting up with my brothers. So all of these things are things that show and fulfill me. So yeah,
Oh, wait, what happened? So 2011 was a big thing for both of us pala.
really.
Yeah, well, I found Mina, you found God, I guess. You found I didn't mean this. I didn't mean to sound condescending, but you found God. That's good. No, but in all seriousness, what Sir Darcy was trying to say is that love comes in many forms. And the way how you manifest your love is how you get to practice. Is how you practice your love. Is how you'll be able to find a relationship if you want a relationship later on in the future. So for those that feel like they feel so extra sad during Feb 14 because you see love all around, try to reflect. Try to reflect on yourself that maybe you have other forms of love. Maybe love of family, love of siblings, love with your parents, or maybe love in the things that you do. You like doing your art, you like enhancing your talents. Nina, she loves me, but I know she loves Genshin more than me. What level is she right now? She's 85, 80, 84. Uh, I so she's way up there. Anyways, at least she hasn't wailed enough that if she wailed, Lana, she really loves Genshin. But for me, but yeah, we get to love things that we try to
Josh, backtrack 10 seconds.
backtrack. AR-55, sorry. AR-55 ka na? Damn. See, she does love Genshin. Hopefully, hopefully I'm almost there near her. I'm only 53. But anyways, like what I said, love can be practiced in many forms. And don't be too so much in a rush to find that love. Because again, you're still trying to discover yourself. It doesn't have to necessarily come right now. So explore yourself. Try to find out who you are, what do you love, and figure it out.
No rush though. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we have a lot of Genshin players here. I haven't done my dailies, but see, it's something that you spend your time. If you want to figure out, maybe you don't realize the things that you love yet, but try to think, what are the things that I spend my time mostly on? Now, while I'm thinking of that question in my head and in the middle of saying it, most of the things that you do are mostly what Rex. So are Rex the things that you love? Would you say, or are you kind of forced to do it? But again, time could be an indicator of to tell whether or not it's something that you love. Not necessarily how much you spend on, but maybe how much. Yeah, time is a valuable resource usually when determining how much you love something. Oh no, why did I? So we all go back to Rex. Rex is love, apparently.
Well, I mean, okay. Something that also might be, probably is misconstrued is, some people say that opposite of love is hate. For those who have been Serve Lad students,
Oh my
I was
gosh.
I was in the front. Well, I was in no third row naman ako. So I was in full, I was in the uh, short range of that, So Serve, honestly, I hope we get, in-person class again so that Sir Vlad can do his speeches again for those students. But okay, there's one lesson for those who don't want to be spoiled. You can turn off the stream for like 10 seconds, and then so Sir Vlad says that, and I agree. The opposite of love is not hate; it's apathy. And when so you can love something so much, and you can also hate it at the same time. It's not mutually exclusive. Um,
Oh, I never thought of that.
and in fact, it's probably because that you love it, or maybe not it itself, probably the thing behind it, the things around it, that your emotions are heightened, which causes you to hate it during those particularly hard times. Now, I won't say that people, I don't think, I don't know, maybe I'm stretching, maybe I'm projecting, but I don't think people hate Rex. They hate the fact that it takes away their time. They hate the fact that it's hard. They hate the fact that sometimes they can spend so much time on it and get nothing out of it and feel like that. But at the same time, they understand that uh, Rex can be good. That the learning that they can get from it can be valuable. Um, so they know that education is valuable. So I suppose it's really just it's an entire package, and it's really hard to kind of cherry pick the stuff that comes along with it. So yun nga, parang uh, I mean, I want all that learning and the high grades, and I just want to pick it out. Pero may sumasabit na kailangan mong kailangan mong magsulat ng mahabang paper, kailangan mong gumawa ng napaka-complicated na project. So that kind of drags along, and you can't just remove it. So, uh, I mean, perspective definitely helps. That okay, definitely this thing that you're doing is super hard. You hate it. Uh, what exactly is the thing that you hate, and try to separate it from the thing that you're actually trying to get out of it, which is the learning. I hope for the Rex. Why are we moving to Rex? I we were kind of really way into into
No, again,
romance
we were
earlier.
saying that what you spend your time on is a good indicator of what you really love.
Okay,
So
so actually that means that if you're spending a lot of time on Rex, it means that you that's self care in some aspects. In the intellectual aspect, some people kind of go overboard though because they do Rex to the point of mental exhaustion. So don't do that.
yeah.
Um, but it's because that you recognize that your school is important to your future, and that you care about having a good future. So you love yourself, and no, you put in the effort.
So
So
what about the students that are banging their heads on the keyboard that couldn't figure out your project in FOMSI? Like they've been spending hours coding and coding and coding. Is that love for FOMSI?
well, I mean, it's love, not necessarily comp sci again. So they pick out a certain thing that they love, and comp sci was just stuck to it. It's a required subject that they have to take in 4 years of high school. So I mean, if they could probably get rid of it, then they would. A lot of people don't take the comp sci elective. um,
The
but I
thing
would
is,
say no.
if you're spending too much time on FOMSI, what Sir Tarsi is trying to say is that you're doing it wrong. He can
Well,
cut it in half. Just consult with him.
well, I'd say I'd cut it by 2/3, pero yeah, consult. uh, probably next meeting, next stream, I want to go into this thought that I've been entertaining for. I mean, I know. I think about it every now and then. This the thought of effort and outcomes. We might have different opinions on this, Josh, because um, based on the grades that you give and the grades that I give, we have different concepts of effort and results. So,
Judge.
so,
Whenever you
so
see my grade sheet, it's always 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. Ooh, my 1.25. That's your lowest. 1.0, 1.0, 1.0.
I mean, of course, disregarding the current situation, probably there's a bit more variety, and if you feel, so don't try to hold yourself against those normal standards. Well, normal standards of Joshua. So,
Grabe.
okay. Anyway, so it's 9:20. I think we've been talking for. I've been streaming for about an hour and 20 minutes. I think that should do for this stream. Again, you can always send in your questions, whether they are personal, school life related, coding related. Since this is, I mean, I'm not trying to appropriate, pero it is my channel. And um,
Sigo!
and yun nga, parang the only reason that I'm able to give myself an excuse to do this is because I'm telling myself that I'm giving feedback to the students in ComSci. So that's why I'm able to. So I do need to dedicate at least 30 minutes to the coding part. It's fine if you just tune in for
Or
the
more.
Sir
Why don't you add
Q.
more to the coding part?
I mean, no one's asking any coding questions, so I
Or
mean, I can
get other comp teachers. Would Mom Edlen be a guest here soon?
actually. So starting next week, we'll probably. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to have more guests. So probably
Wait,
someone
are you
will.
asking me
No, no, no,
online? Like,
no,
you
no, no.
didn't tell me.
No, no, not yet. Parang I'm still figuring it out. Kasi again, I need to figure things out. So I'll see if I can manage to have a guest next week, and then probably someone that Joshua and I already know, and who's free
Oh,
enough to
I'm still in? I thought I was the guest here.
No, no, no. Parang you're the you're the recurring guest, and then we'll add another third guest to
I'll be the music guest. In Padam.
Anyway, so we'll probably invite someone for next week, and then once we've tested it out with someone that we can work with, we'll probably see if we can expand to inviting other people because nagpapa-invite na yung Photon from before. So, I mean, I'll probably invite one.
Mag-rollouts kami mamaya ng who would be our guest in the next Tarcy. But anyways, for people that are also on Twitter, maybe you can share the streams as well. If you found anything useful, you found something that was maybe it could connect to others as well. So share this. We're not
Right.
trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, but it does help. Like Sir Tarsi really wants. He already has a part of the wall behind him for the play button. Uh, so let's try to help him get that.
No, no. I mean, honestly, you can disregard the last minute of Joshua speaking. So it's really just low effort. It's something that I came up with for fun. Talked about it with Joshua. He seemed pretty on board. I figured it would be a great way to put a face to teachers, to interact with students in a more live context. So yeah, if if more people watch, okay, definitely. More things that we can comment on, more things that we can talk about. But yeah, if you're in the mood to relax, or just listen in to two brothers argue about different things, you can join us again next week, again at 8 p.m. to around 9:30. So it will be a minimum of 1 hour, depending on how long Joshua can talk about something. So, okay, I think that's it for today. Anything else you want to add, Josh?
um, Shout out to the people who emailed me earlier. I haven't replied to your mails yet. I'm about to get back to work just right now. So hi. Aside from that, thank you very much for here that were able to join us. It's been really nice to be able to actually talk about this stuff with you guys. So we hope that we can see you and you can bring others here as well. Ooh, should we commission our theme song out?
Are you willing to sing?
No, no, not me.
Well, not me.
That's terrible.
Anyway,
Let's see.
so maybe we can do that for season 2 or something. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next week for another Tarsi talk.
What's our outro? What's
No,
our outro? Like, do we have to do that?
no, I'm. And you're pointing the other way.
I'm a fake. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why. All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye, guys.